It's dinner and a show on PAlive today. It's time now for some interactive theater with Kitty Jones.
Well, I don't see Kitty Jones. I see somebody else there. But let's go back 100 years to this day in 1920. Today, Kitty, again, I don't know who that is. I see Siga. You are a suffragist, right? Who witnessed the passage of the 19th Amendment.
Yeah. I've just come, in fact, from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm not certain how I got here so fast. But nonetheless, I was there on the steps of the Capitol when the men in the legislature voted to pass the Susan B. Anthony Amendment, the 19th Amendment, which allows women and men the right to vote. We have been working so long and so hard for this moment. I'm very emotional. I cannot believe it is happening. We needed this state to pass it. We needed 36 out of our 48 states, and Tennessee was the one that did it for us. Haley, isn't that exciting?
So exciting. Now we know where you've just been.
Yes.
When did the women's movement start?
Well, it formally started back in 1848. Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott, who were fierce abolitionists, they were shunned at the anti-slavery convention in England, and they decided when they arrived back in America, they would have a women's rights convention, and they did. And at this convention, they wanted to advocate for women's rights. They wanted women to, you have to understand, back in their day, women could not, they could not keep their children in cases of divorce. They could not own property, go off to colleges or university. They could not even keep their own wages. They did not have rights at all. So there was a great deal of improvement that they've worked tirelessly. Susan B. Anthony joined them 3 years later. And now it has culminated now with women finally getting the right to vote.
Wow, Siga,
So
I am
exciting.
impressed. I thank you for stopping in Pennsylvania.
Yes, for our show.
To come chat with us. When did you join the movement?
Well, to be honest, Chris, I joined the movement back in 1911. I was working in the Triangle Shirtwaist factory, and after they had the fire, I was not there that afternoon. I had sliced my hand and I left the afternoon. And when I came back, I found my building on fire, and it was sheer negligence from the owners of the factory. Do you know, it was once said, factory owners said that they love to hire the immigrant women. We work like horses. Horses?
Wow.
Do you know back in 1866, there was an organization started called the ASPCA.
Oh, yes.
To protect animals, the street cohorts, and they did need protection, but who's protecting us? That is when I joined the women's movement, so we could have shorter hours and better wages and whatnot. And I have to tell you, by the end of this decade, I hope I can say this. Can I tell you a secret?
Yes. You mean what decade are we talking about? Not 2020, because we are not. You're in the past.
Heavens, no. By 1920, the truth is, you can tell no one this.
Okay,
But
I'll lean in.
I was going out to dance halls and dancing with men without a chaperone. It was madcap.
Oh,
So
my.
things are changing for women.
And there's even more to see. You put together a little something for us. Let's take a look.
Kids Interactive Theater presents Women's Rights, featuring the tireless work of Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Suffragist Siga Schoenwolff shares the tragedies and many triumphs of the women's movement, including the first Women's Rights Convention, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire.
The horse-drawn fire trucks are galloping past me. I started running, and when I turned the corner, my building is on fire.
And the ratification of the 19th Amendment in 1920, granting women the right to vote. I can even edit the influential women from your organization right into the show.
Failure is impossible.
Failure is impossible.
Failure is impossible.
Share this powerful story with your group today.
Things over to Kitty. You have 16 different one-woman interactive shows. We've seen many of them here on PAlive over the years, but the pandemic has kind of changed the way you do this, so now you're doing them virtually.
Yes, Haley, I can't thank you enough for having me on. It is always such a pleasure, especially on a day that is so historic. But yes, all of my historic shows, because of the pandemic, I'm unable to perform them. So I've turned many of them into virtual programs. And I've even kept the best part of my show, which, as you know, is the interaction. So I can now edit people right into the show, the teachers or the members of the organization. So it's still very, very interactive. I divide the shows into smaller segments so schools can watch them on different days, different segments, so they don't have to sit for a whole half an hour. It seems to be working very, very well. It's been a lot of work turning my live theater into movies, but that's what I've learned to do this summer.
All right, so students, teachers can reach out and be a part of the interactive theater group. Just go to Kitty's website online. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you as always.
Thank you, darling.